Afternoon, and thanks for joining us for Living Local, your lifestyle show for all things Charleston and beyond. I'm Ashley Missouri. Joining us today, we have our friend Chris Howe from Patriots Point. Today, we're going to talk about all of the precautions they're taking this time and throughout the summer and beyond. First off, Chris, it's great to see you.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. It's very nice to see you too.
All right, so I know that you've got, big plans coming up, the summer and everything like that. Tell us first off, for the folks at home who aren't familiar with Patriots Point, what you do.
Yeah, so we are a Naval and Maritime museum that really features three ships. There are two ships and a submarine. We have the USS Yorktown and a World War II aircraft carrier, very historic in what it did to help us win the war in World War II in the Pacific theater. We have the USS Laffey, a destroyer, also served in World War II and then later conflicts, and probably our most historical ship. It was attacked off the coast of Okinawa and took 6 kamikaze and 4 bomb hits, and 32 people were killed, but the ship survived and really became an icon for the United States and a rally cry for the war. And we also have a submarine who was built during World War II, didn't serve, but it's World War II era, and then later served in the Cold War. And we have a 3-acre Vietnam experience exhibit that's an outside exhibit. And we're a state agency, so this isn't a private business. We're part of the state, and we are located on Charleston Harbor and Mount Pleasant, but we're really a state museum anywhere you go. And so that's a little bit about what we do. Every day we get to see people from all over the world come here and get inspired by our museum ships and what we have to show them for our heroes, what our veterans did, and why we have our freedom.
And I know that you have people, obviously, as you said, all across the world, but of all ages and backgrounds, and so I think that's really cool. Talk about kind of some of the things you're doing to make sure that people are staying safe moving forward.
Yeah, the state did a really good job of recommendations with Accelerate South Carolina and really gave us a guideline to follow. And you'll notice right when you come in the gate, where we shut down our turnstile for security and we opened up a side gate so you don't have to touch anything. And then you follow stencils that we put on the floor that guides you to the ticket window. And instead of ugly ones that say social distancing, they're in shapes of planes and Spirit Line logo. And you follow that to the ticket window if you didn't buy your ticket online. So we're encouraging people to buy their tickets online so they don't have to go to the ticket window. But there's a big plexiglass. I mean, the people behind the window you can't touch or breathe on them. There's a little thing you slide things through. So it's relatively safe there, but we still encourage people to buy their tickets online just so they don't have to stand in line or to touch anything. And then you follow those same stencils to the pier. And then once you get to the pier, it's really, we're an open museum. We have more than 1 million square feet. And, we understand that some people may not feel comfortable in getting out of the house, but for those that are, you can feel pretty confident about the space at Patriots Point and being able to social distance. You think about, the flight deck alone on our aircraft carrier is bigger than 3 football fields of just open space. Mm-hmm. And below that is the hangar deck on the ship that's open space. And so you really venture at your own, at your own rate. There's self-guided tour routes. We've actually had to close the Clamagore because of how tight the submarine is and Apollo 8 space capsule that we have here. And so those are some of the things we're doing. We have ultraviolet light air purification systems that we installed on all of the air conditionings on the Yorktown. And so as the air moves in those spots, in those areas that are air conditioned and climate controlled, you can feel pretty good about breathing clean air. And then hand sanitizing stations. We always did have hand sanitizing stations because, people touch things, but we more than doubled the amount of those that we have. And then, we're constantly reminding people about the needs to social distance and reminding them about the recommendations that DHEC and the Centers for Disease Control are issuing about masks and things like that. Though we're not requiring it, we're strongly encouraging people to follow those guidelines.
That's great. I gotta just ask you this though. It can't be the hand sanitizer that smells awful.
No, it's not. Well, at least to me it doesn't smell awful. About the same hand sanitizer that I have at home.
Okay, good. Because I've run across some and I'm like, oh, I think
that we've got some companies that cut a little corners. They may kill it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in that department. You definitely know it has to be killing something on your hand. So, but before we head out there, just kind of, why would you encourage the folks at home, parents, people of all ages to come out and visit you?
Right. For families with children, those kids haven't been in school, and so they've missed out on a large portion of their education. And here at Patriots Point, We pride ourselves. We play a big role in helping the state with certain things, and that's with history. We have 2 books that our education department publishes for history and science, and for the 5th grade program especially, kids read those books every year and they come to Patriots Point. Well, just because schools are closed, nothing we do as a museum has changed. So you can come and still learn about World War II. You can see certain planes, especially that 5th grade age group. We really see them take to it and come and leave here inspired about what they saw. And a lot of them, go into careers in aviation or decide to join the military in some way. And so that's why I encourage people to come here in a time where there's a lot of unfortunate news, to come here and be inspired and not have to worry about close quarters. And spend an afternoon here aboard some of these ships that are historic to our country, and leave here with, a day of enjoyment, being on Charleston Harbor, being able to spend family time, and a new respect for our heroes.
I love it. I love it. Great note to leave on. But before we head out, just tell us where to go for more information.
Yeah, visit patriotspoint.org, www.patriotspoint.org. You can learn, you can browse, you can spend hours on there just looking at our aircraft, and then buy your ticket and bring it here. And then join us on Facebook, facebook.com/patriotspoint.org. We did a few interviews with people last week about what they felt about the safety measures, and you can watch that video right there on our Facebook page.
All righty. Well, Chris, always a pleasure to see you, and thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Ashley. Great to see you too.
All right. More Living Locals coming your way, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.